No, thank you very much for the invitation and to be part of this exhibition and also of this festival. Very grateful for that. My name is Marianne Mueller and I'm director of Casper Mueller Architects. So how do I do this? Other way around? Okay, great, thank you. So I'm director of Casper Mueller Architects. We're an architectural practice based in London and Berlin, and the project that I'm presenting today is based in Seoul in South Korea. Our project collaborators here were Lichtvision lighting designers. The New Together. The title of The New Together somehow questions the very notion of public space. So when we talk about public space in a context, it's like this, okay? In a context of an event like this or in a context of a city like this, we automatically associate the sort of streets and squares and piazzas of the traditional European city. However, in the kind of frame of reference, we need to make a change completely when we talk about the Asian context. So in London, where we're based and have been based for a long time, privately owned yet publicly accessible spaces have a long and also quite problematic tradition. This is a Pentagon Petal, which is a very long bench for gathering, which we installed in one of these privately owned, publicly accessible spaces. So questions that we have is how can we generate spaces of togetherness in different formats? And how can we make spaces that can be inhabited and appropriated and inspire togetherness in different ways beyond the traditional public space? This is the Hyundai department store in Mokdong in Seoul. And from a European perspective, you would never associate the notion of public space or community space with a private commercial structure like this. However, the Asian department stores go way beyond a sort of commercial offering, and they play an important part in the public and also the social life of local communities they are located in. So very much like European streets and squares and avenues, there you will find boulevards and piazzas and avenues, but you also find community halls, women's spaces, crèches, cinemas, meeting points, restaurants, publicly accessible gardens and parks. So a type of interior urbanism with a sort of public offering. And this public offering is not a public space in the sort of European sense, but privately owned and privately regulated space with all the problems that this brings. But nevertheless, these spaces often offer a sort of new togetherness, which is worth noting and is worth engaging with as architects. And shaded here in beige are all the kind of what they call special public programs embedded in the department store, and the project that I'm presenting is one of them. The project is called the Glass House. And the Glass House is situated on the 7th floor of the Hyundai Mokdong department store. So it's sandwiched between the department store below and 3 residential towers above, next to an existing external roof garden. So the glass house extends this external garden to the interior, and it serves as an entrance lobby to the residential towers above and a sort of unprogrammed and sort of spillover space to the department store below. And typologically, the glass house is a contemporary interpretation of the traditional greenhouse. It's a kind of airy and light-filled space with light and vegetation, bringing nature into an interior urban setting, a space for relaxation and decompression. It's an informal indoor garden, indoor space, but publicly accessible without any fixed program or the pressure to consume. In terms of circulation, it's a space that is a passage from the lift course of the towers above through the department store onto the public transport system, which happens at the level -2. So it's a free offering to both the visitors of the department store as well as the local residents. So it's a surplus space. It's a space that's not really needed. The iconic pitched roof pitches in two directions. It's backlit, and here we had great input from our lighting designers, Lichtvision. It kind of provides this calm and very even illumination, which has to be designed to actually promote well-being in both humans and plants. So we have additional grow lights above the planted areas. There's an enclosed glazed event space situated at the rear, which can accommodate functions or clubs or other events. And this area can be partitioned to create different sort of settings and scenarios for particular activities, different room sizes or configurations, which can be achieved to support different activities. The planting is scattered around this sort of light-filled space in a series of green islands of different sizes. And the meandering hard surfaces are made from natural stone and are sized in a way that they can accommodate activities and gatherings of different sizes. And they initiate to stroll around and to sort of explore the space. So the glasshouse invites you to pause at the heart of the dense and very commercial urban setting. It's open for interpretation and for use, in use. So what is the glasshouse? It's a sort of small piece of nature in the middle of the big city. It's a tiny oasis. It marries indoor and outdoor architecture and nature. It's a buffer space on the 7th floor. It's a place of recreation for various communities, from the exhausted shopper to the local residents. It's an everyday place where people meet and wait for each other. Here they hang out and they socialize. It's a place you travel through on your way from your home to your work. It's where you go when you want to attend a cooking class or a cooking lesson, take part in adult learning activity. It's a place where exhibitions happen, promoting local and also upcoming artists. It's a destination where flea markets take place to address the local community. So is the glasshouse a public space in the European sense? Well, definitely not. But a place of togetherness or gathering and sociability? Absolutely. Thank you very much.